I have some workouts here that I've done in the past couple of weeks that I want to especially highlight in this compilation, and we're going to go over that and talk about it a little bit. And so first up, all right, so right here we're stepping up to the bar, and this is the toes to bar workout. I believe it's a CrossFit workout. And the whole mechanism behind it is that you're bringing the toes up to the bar. This is a really good core exercise. If I was to recommend this to anybody that is new to lifting, they can always bring their knees up to parallel with their hips, or they could also, for a slightly level up on that, to bring the toes out in front of you to your hip level. This is just the next progression of that, of bringing the legs totally up above your head and touching the roof like I am in this, or touching the bar. Again, great core exercise, and doing the best to not use any momentum in this. Here you see I sway a little bit, but I'm doing my best to use my core to stabilize and to use nothing else. Next up here we have this lunge I found online. I wish I could give credit to whoever came up with this, and I found it. As you can see, what I'm doing with this is just lunging forward and then handing the weight off down deep into the movement, and then coming back up with it and handing it off and going back down. This is great to switch up your lunge variations, and if you don't have space to do this, you can do this in place and just switch it out. It's just kind of nice to walk it out. And yeah, I highly recommend this lunge exercise. So here we have a weighted wall sit. This is another one I found online, and I really like it. Some people will put the plates on their lap to add some weight. I never really liked that. It always felt weird on my body, and it probably works for other people, but for me, I didn't really like it. And I love this almost deadlift variation of it. If I was to go back and make any changes, I would have my butt a little bit lower on the wall, going for that 90 degrees between where our knees are. And it's something that you can load up pretty heavy. I plan to load this up heavier in the future. That was just the first time I was going through it, so I wanted to get the movement down before I loaded it up and hurt myself. So I highly recommend this tricep exercise. My hands and my grip stance on the bar is in a lot more than what you would do for a normal bench press, and this is to work more of the triceps. And I really like this exercise. I can't stress this enough of how good this is, because you're able to load up the triceps. Yes, you still hit a little bit of shoulders and chest still, because it's hard to root those out in an exercise like this, but you can load up the triceps in a way that you can't with a lot of other workouts. So I highly recommend this tricep exercise. And this one, I call it knees over toes. I found this from the knees over toes guy. If you ever see him online, look him up on social media. But with this, I was inspired from this. I don't know if this is a particular exercise he prescribes to people, but through his social media, this was inspired by him. As you can see, this was the first time I was doing anything like this, and normally a lot of people tell you to not put your knees over your toes, but that's why in his name, Knees Over Toes Guy, he goes against that. And as you can see here, I am using an assistant, so I have a pole. You could also use a wall to help assist you, or a table or bench. I at some point want to load this up in the future, and hopefully can progress it to help develop some knee mobility and knee strength for myself. So I plan to use this in the future, and I think you should too. Next up here, we have this handstand shoulder press. If I was to make any changes to what I was doing here, I would get my hands closer to the wall. It's kind of putting a lot of pressure on my lower back in this, and so if anybody was to redo this exercise, I would recommend coming closer to the wall. As you can see, I'm walking up. If you have a good enough wall, or like a smooth enough wall, you can wear socks and just slide up and down, and that works very well. But I was using a wood beam, so my socks would have gotten caught on everything. But yeah, highly recommend this as a shoulder exercise. You have to stabilize a lot more in this, and so this is one of those exercises where you can really hit your shoulders just with your own body weight and also help stabilize.